Hey everyone, good evening. Today we're going to discuss about Puppet. Puppet is one of the popular DevOps tools and it's been widely used for configuration management. The theory session of Puppet is already taken and this is a hands-on Puppet, installing Puppet in Amazon Cloud Server and configuring it and running a small use case. Alright, so let's get started. I'm logging into Amazon Cloud Server. EC2. I'm going to launch instances. I will take Ubuntu 16.04 instance. I'm going to say I want two instances. One instance I plan for Puppet server, other one will act like an agent node for me. Security, I'm going to create a new security saying let's keep it like this. I'm just going to test this, so I'll keep all the traffic open, but in the production obviously we will restrict to the certain protocols and certain ports. As of now I'm just say all open. I already have Amazon SSL key, so I'm going to use that. If you don't have, you can create one. You need to download it and configure it to connect back to the instance. How do you download and connect it back is covered in another session. I will leave a link in this video. All right, my two servers are getting ready. I'll just put a tag running. Yeah, both the servers are running. I plan to use one as Puppet server and one as a node, agent node I call it, agent node. All right. So I'm going to use my Mac terminal to connect to the servers. Let me first connect to my Puppet server. I'll say terminal for this. Okay, excellent. And this is a command we connected. So basically we'll say ssh-i and we provide the key path. The key file permission should be 400. So we have to do a chmod 400 before using it. Otherwise it will not connect. It will say it is too open. And then the username, which is Ubuntu, and the IP number, which I just copied. I'll say yes. I'm connected to the Ubuntu server, my cloud server in EC2. I'll just clear the screen. Okay, and I'll assume super user so that I don't have any problems with permissions. Okay, and one of the very important thing in Puppet is Puppet really connects to the node and the server, talks between server and node based on the host name. The host name should be persistent. So let's make a permanent change in the host name. There is a file called host name in root folder etc root etc hostname, and I'm going to remove this and say I plan to use this machine as server. I'll say Puppet server. I'll save this, and hostname, I'm going to just define this Puppet server. This is the default extension of Amazon EC2 servers. It's a fully qualified DNS. Just to be clear, I define a fully qualified DNS in here, and I do the same thing in my agent node as well. So let me go to my agent node. I will connect to the agent node in a similar manner. I'll come back. I'll take a new window. I'll keep it this side. Okay, hope it is visible. I'm trying to put both the windows in the same screen. Yeah, that should be good. The way I connect is same key. So I'll just change the IP number. I'm connected to my. Okay. I can also do a sudo -i so that you can see that I have this nicely qualified Puppet server name. So I'll do sudo su here, and I'll repeat the same things. So I'm going to change my host name. Oh, sorry. I'll name this as Puppet Agent, and I'll name the host name fully qualified name. I'll say Puppet Agent dot ec2 dot internal. Okay. I'll say sudo -i. That actually brings my. Oh, sorry. So I have two windows connected to my two cloud servers. One is acting as my Puppet master, and other one is my agent node. Okay, great. And we can mention these names along with their IPs in the host file so that when Puppet tries to resolve the DNS, it will find the right IP. So I'm going to open up my main host file of this computer, and I'll go back and copy my Puppet server IP. Okay, I'll call this Puppet -server.ec2, sorry, ec2, and my agent node, Puppet agent.ec2.internal. Most of the time when you're setting up, the errors actually occur because of this misconfiguration of this IP numbers and DNS. So be very sure when you're doing it that you get it right. I copied it so that I can also do the same thing over here, so that do not worry about who is talking to who. Just mention that when I say Puppet agent.ec2.internal, I mean this computer with this IP. When I say Puppet server.ec2 internal, I mean this IP number. These are public IP numbers. Just mention both. No harm. Excellent. Oh, sorry. So what I have done till now is simply changing the host name and making sure the particular changed host name were actually captured in your etc host file. I'm going to go ahead and install Puppet. Okay, and installing Puppet, it's better to actually take the Puppet from a Puppet repository. I'll just Google here. I know Puppet Lab has Puppet Labs wget Ubuntu. If you just search for it, you will be getting. I'll go to the documentations of Puppet. I'm going for Ubuntu release. So wget Ubuntu. I just need a link of the repository. That should be good enough. So yeah, this is the one. This is the one. So I'll say wget will download this package, and then I'll say package uninstall or -i, and I simply copy paste the same file. The file name is good enough because it's been already downloaded locally. Yeah, that should do. Okay. And then I can simply say update. Before doing that, I will also do the same thing over in the agent node, and then I will unpack it using dpkg command. Then I'll say apt-get update minus y, apt-get update minus y. So it download all the relevant dependencies and just leave it for some time. Okay, this is done. I'll clear the screen in the server, and I will install Puppet server directly with the command apt-get install Puppet server minus y, saying take S for everything. And in the agent node, we will install Puppet agent. Okay, everything is same. You just have to say there we set server. Here we say Puppet hyphen agent minus y. That is all, and agent node will be installed over here. Server installation is done. I'm waiting for agent to complete. Agent is also done. So now that we have installed server in my cloud computer, which I reserved for server, and I have agent in my right hand side in my screen, I have to connect this server to this agent, or agent to the server. Puppet is a, a pull architecture, which means your agent will actually request information from the server. So agent will pull the configuration or the infrastructure code from the server. So we need to configure the agent. Before doing that, let me just start the server in in Puppet server. And okay, so let me start. And I just want to make sure that I have memory. So this is the file which you would like to. This is the default configuration. Come down, and this is a very small Amazon free tier T2 micro server. So I don't have 2 GB RAM space. If I don't change this, it will simply throw an error and my Puppet server refuse to start. So I'm gonna, sorry, no spaces. I'm gonna change this to XMS, sorry, XMS 512 MB. That's good enough, and also XMX 512 MB. That stands for MB. I think that's good enough, and I'll save this. I'm only doing this because my Amazon cloud servers are very small, and if I don't do that, my Puppet server refuses to start, throwing an error saying that my Java virtual machine JVM doesn't have enough memory, or it has some error in configuration. So I have done that, and now I can go ahead and simply I can start the server. I will say system ctl start Puppet server. It takes a little time because it's a very tiny server, and yeah, it takes a bit of time before starting Puppet server. We shall wait. Alright, so we got the Puppet server started. Then I'm going to just enable that CTL, enable Puppet server. Okay, great. Clear the screen. And then I just want to see if my status is correct. So system.systemctl status Puppet server should show me that it is running. Okay, systemctl Puppet server. There's a spelling mistake over here. I apologize. Yeah, active, up and running. And we have installed Puppet agent in the agent. I just have to activate that. Before doing that, let me just look into my host file one more time. Did I change the host file? I think yes, I have done that. Okay, excellent. That looks fine. And we should also change the Puppet configuration file, which is in your Puppet Labs Puppet folder. So let me access that. Let's see. Puppet, sorry, there should not be a space. Sorry. Puppet Labs, Puppet, Puppet.configuration. Alright, so I need to mention, this is my agent, so I need to mention what is my certificate name. That's the first thing. And second, I need to mention cert name, and I need to mention what is the server ID or server DNS. Puppet cert name is ec2.internal. I put it fully qualified just to avoid any conflicts. And server Puppet server ec2 internal. Excellent. So that ensures that my agent knows the server location. Okay. So my server is up and running. Agent is, I just have to start the agent. So I'll say system ctl start. For agent we simply say Puppet. And again system ctl enable Puppet. I can check the status, of course, and it will show that my Puppet is running. Excellent. Okay, so I've completed installing Puppet, setting up the host names, and also configuring Puppet configuration file in my agent node. Great. And now we could simply go ahead in the server. As we already configured there, we should have got a request in my server for a certificate authentication. We can look at that by simply typing in Puppet, Puppet cert sign, list. Alright, so we have to mention a fully qualified address for Puppet, because we install Puppet server here. So we could actually set a path for it, but it's actually much easier to simply use a path. Like it is in opt file, and it should be Puppet lab in it, yes, and then bin, and then you have Puppet over there. So I directly access it rather than tweaking with the path. Alright, see, you can see that there is a certificate over here, and it does not have any symbols. If I list all, the all parameter, Puppet cert list hyphen or dash all will list all the certificates. We don't have much certificate. We only have two things now. One is the Puppet server EC2 internal. Another one is Puppet agent. We just requested for certification because we have configured over here. We got a request over here. And you can see there is a plus symbol over here, which means this is approved and this is waiting for approval. Okay. So I can simply approve this. I can simply approve this by saying the whole thing again, because it is not in the system path yet. I have to mention the entire path to access the Puppet, and say cert sign. I'll copy paste my agent Excellent. So now that my agent is signed, from here, from my agent node, I could simply say that agent test puppet agent test, and that will actually pull. All right, the puppet is not currently installed. So again, the same problem. I have to mention the entire path out and yeah, puppet labs and bin and puppet, and I'll say agent minus minus test. Oh, great. So it's simply saying nothing has been applied and it retrieved we're connected. There is a version over there, configuration version number. You can see that. And every time when you do a change in your server, you write infrastructure code in the server, this number will change. That's something which is called as configuration tracking. So you could track which configuration has been applied to the nodes. All right, coming back, clearing this one. Now let's write a small code, a small code in the server, which can be pulled. Let me just write a code for installing a Git. Yeah, Ubuntu comes up with the Git installation, so I'm going to uninstall it just to make sure that I install that again from my Git. Is a very easy software to install, so let me first start with that. So I don't have Git, as you can see now. No Git, great. So the configuration, the main default file, the Puppet file, is stored in manifest.pp, and from Puppet file, Puppet 5 version, or the manifest file is actually in environments. The default environments is production. All right, so we actually navigate to that. We'll say it's in HC and Puppet Labs. In that you say code and then manifest. Oh, sorry, I think environments. Yeah, and then you have production, and then you have manifest. Okay, manifest. Yeah, and then you have site.pp. So HC, Puppet Lab, code, and environments, production, manifest, site.pp is a default file pulled by any of your nodes. We can change that by configuration. But right now, let's just first write a simple code. I'll say package. This is how you write a code. Simply say package, and the package name when you want to install is git, and I can give it any name. I'll simply say name. I'll simply mention as git because that is fine. Come on. Oh, sorry. I can put it in quotes because yeah. And there are many ensure things. Ensure install. You can also say latest and other things, but install. Sorry, I don't have these many spaces. Don't want this many spaces. Okay, cool. So it's a simple code which says package git. So my Puppet will go and find git in the Puppet repository, module repository, and we name this particular package in this file as git. We can give any name, this does not matter directly. And ensure install will ensure that it's installed in all the slave nodes which is connected to this. Right now it's not automatic pulling because I haven't configured my interval. I will do that very shortly, but right now my interest is to show that there is no git here, but when I run my Puppet test, which is testing whether the agent is pulling the configuration, the same one, Puppet agent hyphen test or dash dash test, click it, and you can see that configuration version has changed, and it says that something has been installed. Notice that this has ensured created. Alright, so which basically means if I type git, it would have been installed, and as you expect, it is installed. So we have successfully installed git package through infrastructure as code using Puppet as a tool. And Puppet master, we have written a code. This is the code. This is the code, and all the nodes, whatever computers are there connected to this, will be installed because I haven't specified anything particularly. Well, I could also specify certain nodes or even node clusters and write the code separately. So what I mean is, I could say simply, say node, and I can mention the node. Right now I want to install in Puppet agent, so I'll give a fully qualified name of Puppet agent .ec2.internal and open the app, close it over here. Well, just for understanding's sake, I can make this go a little inside so it's more readable. That means that it is inside this. If I have more nodes, I can actually mention them by specifying comma here. I'm only using one node here. I can just put a comma and mention more nodes, but just using one node. So excellent. All right, so well, I'm going to just remove it one more time, but I don't have to. It'll still be showing. So I don't have gate. I run my Puppet code again, and this time the Puppet code is especially configured for this particular node, and has a new configuration number, and right now you have git installed again. Okay, well, let's do something little more nicer. Let's go ahead and install Apache. For installing Apache, first we need to install Apache modules in your host files. So we really have to install the modules. So I could Google for it. I can simply say Puppet Apache module. I'll take a Apache code. Most of the codes are well configured. Go inside. Let's copy this. Come back. And trying to install. Okay, install. It simply says install Apache, etc., etc. Enter. Oh well, I have the same problem again. I'll go and specify the. I could actually put it in the path, but I'm just gonna pass it on. Etc. And what was it? Was Puppet opt. I have to go into and check opt Puppet Labs, right? And then bin, I guess, and then Puppet. Okay, let me try that. Yeah, it's running. It's gonna download Apache package from Puppet Labs Forge api.puppet.com, and once it is done, it will have packages installed in a path called in environment production modules, Apache, and dependent libraries. You could go ahead and check these files, but as of now, once it is installed, I can configure my pp file, site.pp file, with corresponding course. I can simply make this code, make my code to install Apache by saying this class Apache. That's all. So if I say class Apache, it would be installing Apache. Let me first show you that I don't have Apache as of now. If I say Apache to status, it will simply say there is nothing like Apache, no service or file or directory or anything found like Apache. Alright, now I'm going to again run my Puppet agent test. It's pulling all the stuff from Puppet Forge and installing Apache with the best configurations. Excellent. And well, Apache is successfully installed now, and I could check that Apache status one more time. You'll see that Apache is up and running. It's installed and it started it as well. Very nice. And well, it installed with the default configuration. If you want to see my host files in Apache, for example, it is in, I guess, let's see Apache. Okay, Apache 2. I think sites available. All right, and then I say vhosts, vhosts or vhosts or nothing like that. So I say it's a vhost maybe. No, okay, that's weird. Let me just go and check it myself. Apache 2 and sites and available. Okay, there should be some files. Yeah, that's something called as 15 default. All right, whatever it is, just let me print it down. I can see there is some default directory, and there's absolutely no virtual. Oh, okay, there is. This is the whole file, and I have some default directory over here. No virtual uh, site has been domain has been configured. Well, I can do that. Let me just um, change my site.pp file. I'll go inside here. I can mention Apache related configuration by simply saying Apache vhost, which is the service. That's the main configuration file for Apache. Okay, and well, to be in the nicer side, everything is in the node, so I'll just give 2 spaces. Making the code readable is one of the very important things, so we should respect that. And vhost, I can say anything. For example, I'll say devops.skilllogic.com colon, that makes sure that sets that configuration. Then say port is, I mean, by default it is 80. That's the HTTP port. Comma. I can mention all the configuration. I'm gonna touch few of them, and let's say document root. I can mention it as anything. I'm gonna say where, oops, sorry, where www, the same file over here. Yeah, it says HTML. So I'm gonna say something new. For example, I'm gonna say DevOps, for example, and a comma, and I'll leave it like this. Excellent. And do I have a space at the top? Yeah, I don't need that space. Okay, good. Cool. I'll clear the screen. I will run my, what's happening? Where is my command? Yeah, Puppet test again. It's doing something. Okay, I got some error, and it's in, yeah, 7th line. Oh, I'll fix it, no problem. There might be some error. I can also parse it. There is something called as Puppet parser. Let me show you that. It's a good opportunity to show the Puppet parser. Okay, I'll say Puppet parser validate, and well, I have to really type in this entire um, path. I'm going to copy paste. So what is this command does, it's going to go ahead and parse it and show me if there is an error. There is already a syntax error. Okay, the syntax error is could not parse, syntax error, production. So with the same error which is shown over there. Let me go ahead and see if I can correct that. Now, what was it? I don't see an error. This space is causing an error. Normally not. No, that's not a problem. And this bracket has been closed well. That as well. Okay. Okay. All good. And yeah, seems okay. I don't find it anything abnormal. I'll pause it one more time because it's actually a syntax error. It still has a syntax error. I am not supposed to use a colon. Line 7, column 9. This is 7 and this is 9. Oh, sorry. This has to be double colon because it is class reference. We are going inside that. Oh, my apologies. I think that now it should be fine. Yeah, so this will also make this correct. And I'm expecting this to be, yeah, so it's running okay. Yeah, it's done some changes. Clear it. Let me go ahead and check my vhost file, which is in your, yeah, change directory over here and then list. I will have a new host file. Yes, see, there is 25 DevOps and something like that. I'll just print that file by saying 25 star. And you can see that he has created a new virtual host file with a server name as DevOps, whatever it is, which is what I have defined here. And then my document root is this one. Rest of things as required. 80 is the port. So we could control, or we can actually control anything you wanted in your node by using Puppet modules. And you can find all these codes over here. You'll have lots of codes. We have so many codes. You just have to copy paste and change it according to your purpose. A very nice documentation in your Forge Puppet. You can also do it for your PHP, or if you're installing Tomcat or any software per se, whatever is open source and available. You already have a relevant modules in your Puppet Forge. You just have to copy paste it and configure accordingly. Okay. Finally, one last thing. We can set a few configuration in Puppet. So let me just show you, let's say, the main file, the Puppet configuration file, in which we have configured the certificate name and certificate server. Sorry, certificate name and server. It's in, let's say, Puppet Lab, Puppet Labs, Puppet, and then Puppet config, if I'm not wrong. So config, no, it's not CD. I have to edit it. VI. Yeah, this is the file in which you can also mention certain things. So I could also mention the environment. The default one is, of course, your just took some time. Yeah, my computer is not responding. Just give me a bit time. This is working. Okay. I might have some problem with my internet because both my Puppet working. Yeah, there is a problem with my internet. Hey, sorry, there was a bit internet issue. I just restarted my modem. It's working. Um, okay, so we were looking at this. So this is your Puppet code written in the master, and if you want to configure Puppet to automatically pull it, um, we have to write that code in agent because this three belongs to main, and this is more related to agent. It's about uh, how an agent, what's parameter of agent. So all the agent related parameters, including your run interval, which is the interval which my agent is gonna poll the server and get the infrastructure code, accordingly adjust itself. So it's called as run interval. I'm gonna put 1 minute. Typically we put, the default is actually 30 minutes. We can put anything what you want. I want to show you right now live, so I have put it as 1 minute. Let me again remove my git because that's easy to test that git will be restored. You can see my git is okay. Remove git. So no git yet, no git yet. But every minute my Puppet agent is polling my master and gets the code and compares it. So in the master code you have git and ensure git is installed. When it looks at the master, sorry, the server code, infrastructure code, and looks at the agent node here, it could not find the git. It installs it. So that's how Puppet ensures that the configuration remains as per the configuration written over here. So whatever changes in whatever manner it happens in your in an agent node will be restored whenever Puppet does the polling. So that should be already installed now. Oh, it's not yet. Okay. Any moment. It takes a minute. So maybe we are near to a minute now. Yeah, that's it. So you don't see anything. It just installs silently at the backend as a backend process. So that's a very interesting thing. So that's how it works, and you could actually go ahead and write all kinds of configurations and all kind of environments, and it's pretty easy because most of the modules what I'm looking at is given in your Puppet Labs forge.puppet.com. Look at your module, install that particular module, and set up your agent accordingly, and you can have a perfectly controlled infrastructure using Puppet. So that's a quick tutorial. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in next video with Ansible. Thank you.